Like,
Uh,
oh
I think.
my God, no way.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so hi, how's it going?
Good, how's it going?
Good, 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 good. Okay, cool. So I can see your face very clearly from the picture you have, like your camera is open. So I usually do this as I observe the person in the screen, and then every now and then, because you've sent me lots of cool pictures, we can reference the pictures to show and highlight change on the facial structure and the facial traits, right? I may even share my screen every now and then and like outline things on your face, how things were different. Because I wonder about something. You send me some before and afters on some events or journeys or trips or paths that you walked and came on the other side. And so just to understand you better, you mind sharing what did you do? Like what was your mode of treating those kinds of paths so that led you to the phase that you have now?
I was stuck in the emotions from the past, and it was really burdening me. I was feeling a lot of sadness. And I traveled for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I discovered a lot of meditation, a lot of spiritual practices, and I became conscious of myself. And I realized that the best way to treat these emotions and release them and change identity quickly was hypnotherapy.
Right
So
on.
I did a lot of hypnotherapy and using the methods and the things I learned. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. It's quite fascinating how your some traits of your face complement each other, and some thankfully are very like the antithesis of one another. Otherwise, you'd be like a very cute person or like a boss of your own. And so sometimes you have that perfect match of mixture of balance that give you both kinds of traits. So uh, without teasing it too much, let's get to it because you have like a huge jaw as well, which you didn't develop like a year and a half ago when I was seeing pictures from you a year and a half ago or 3, 4 years ago. It wasn't as developed, right? So what's very interesting to me is that the things you had to face, then you had to deal with, and you had to process and overcome may have caused you to, grow a jawline or something. Yeah. Which is, it's cool because people with jawlines, like big jawlines, they have a very clear sense of what's ethical and what's not, what's right and what's not, what's moral and what's immoral, right? They are inner compass. It's very sturdy and firm, and they are not willing to, bat an eye or be peer pressured, right? Regardless, if let's say you're in a group of people and they want to go one way, but in your heart you feel like that's not the right way, you're much more willing and likely to say, that's not where I want to go. I'm going to go the other way instead, right?
That's something I developed in the past year.
Yep. It's quite, it's profoundly shown. Like it can be seen. It's very interesting. Now, your chin as well, right? It took me some time to decide what's going on with your chin, right?
It's a big,
Now, it's quite big and it's quite long. And usually the longer the chin, the more willfulness or stubbornness you can have, right? In Lillian Bridges, in her face reading book, she would say an example of, I find that trying to push a square peg through a coin or a circle doesn't usually work out, right? Regardless, the longer the chin, the bigger the sign of longevity because you have the will to live, right? And now it's also because it's long. They also have shapes. Yours to me seems a bit more pointed, right? On some pictures, it was a bit more rounded, but currently, my impression is that it's a bit more pointed. And pointed chins usually show someone who's a bit more emotional, a bit more indecisive, right? And, observing our experience with you so far, I think that kind of holds true. Okay. Now, can you come closer a bit to the camera so I can see? Okay, cool. You may notice how your upper eyelids follow the same pattern of your eyebrows. So they go a bit straight and then they go a bit down. All right. And as they go straight, they kind of cover the iris of the eye. Right. This is called a fair iris, which means you can very easily see the other people's point of view. You can step into their shoes, observe things from a perspective, right? And sometimes, push for your own good or understand, hey, let's not do that because, we can see what's going on from their perspective, right? What used to be the case, probably before your explorational journey and therapy, is that upper eyelid, instead of horizontally covering your iris, you would do it in a triangle way. And that usually is a sign, a high correlation of abuse in the past, right? The simple fact that you have just changed that, means that you could overcome and process and heal that. So yeah, all pats on the backs, all, good jobs and bravos and everything, right? You rarely see it. Like, you're probably the first person I've seen that on. But again, it's a sign of something very good working, right?
Yeah, it was really heavy and I processed a lot.
I can
So
only imagine, right? From a scale of 0 to 10, I'm wondering how accurate was I in the time that we had?
for someone who doesn't know me, I'm gonna say a 10.
Yay! Yay! Okay,
Was
cool.
everything true? I'll say what wasn't true is able to hurt someone with words. I couldn't speak up for myself.
Yeah.
But I would just shut down. My nervous system wouldn't let me express myself. So to think of even hurting someone, I couldn't because I would blame myself first.
hmm
But pretty good. It's pretty good.
But what probably got me confused is how much of your upper eyelid would actually create almost like a sharp angle downwards. But anyway, okay, I've missed one. Fair enough. It's time that I share the screen, if it's okay with your permission, and like briefly talk about the comparison of the three faces in like 5 minutes or less.
Sure.
Okay, so let's see.
They're scary.
Yep.
But you notice some changes on them that I didn't notice, which is really cool. Really, really cool.
You know what's funny? Chinese have no, they're a bit blunt, and they say from age of 0 to 25, you get this, you get the face the parents gave you. And then from the 25 years on until you're 50, it's the face you deserve, which means, if you work on yourself, you get a different face. If you don't, you still get a different face, but it probably may not be the one you want. Okay, so can you see this?
Oh,
What about now?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna zoom in for a moment. Don't freak out. Yeah. Uh, so big outliers here. Yeah. See how this is like a bow, and see how this so it's almost like someone took like a pencil and create that refinement.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Now see how this is almost like a triangle here, the upper eyelid, and here
yeah,
especially correlates to abuse in the past. See how here it begins to fade a bit. Here is a bit more. Here is definitely a bit more curved instead of a triangle. Here, I'm not sure. I don't know what to extrapolate from this yet. Maybe it's your angle, maybe it's, but yeah, simply having your eyelids small, closed in more, it hoods your eye, which, you may want to cultivate on that and keeping them more open. Or if you like being private, keep them as they are. Right? What else did I observe in terms of change? right here. This is the trait I was talking about. The angle it created here, right? But because of maybe the camera angle, or here especially, it's the one you described. So you are struggling with words, like you couldn't speak up for yourself, right? Now here it's a bit more pointed. So it's definitely not rounded, definitely not hooked. So, you may just speak up if you feel the need to speak up. Right? What else? Oh, and last but not least, jawline. See how much less symmetric there is here, and see how much more broad it is here. And also, maybe you can notice your chin became longer, right? And it also, because here there's extra flesh padding on your chin, it probably made you even more stubborn. Again, comparing facial colors, huge differences, which means you're shining in. Lost love lines gone. Purpose lines. Go ahead.
I think that, yeah, I want to hear what you say about purpose lines, but the corner of my eyes on the outside, they were like pointed down and now they're pointed.
Right. So exactly because they are pointed down here, you're a bit more pessimistic, sad, you are very aware that there's shit in the world, right? And you are easily, like someone could get you in with a sob story, right? Like, generally speaking, yeah, pessimism, being more sad. And now here, especially here, see how I think it's, so their eyes used to be like this, and as you change, they became more like this, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, that's cat's eyes, right? Which makes you much more entertaining, witty, clever-minded, optimistic. You may even see opportunities people haven't even seen yet, and go towards those. Makes you curious, makes you ambitious. A huge change. But anyway, yeah.
What did you this line?
Purpose lines, they start from here and they go all the way down this way, right? And generally speaking, they are among the best lines you could have in your face. Like, for example, if Melissa came into this world to walk her path, achieve her mission, be the person she's destined to be, you are moving towards that path. You're moving towards that mission, right? And it's very easy to follow the things that give you joy and make your heart sing and like literally go towards pleasure. And it's very counterintuitive to go and run into the things that make you run away and make you super scared as enthusiastically as you are moving towards the thing that give you pleasure. But often the easiest way to develop those purpose lines is to actually go onto the things that make you feel afraid and scared as enthusiastically as you are running towards pleasure. And you have been doing that. Like listening to some of your stories and your journeys. Yeah. One day you said, fuck it. And you went on a journey. I don't know many people who do that. Right? It would make sense that you would mark this way. Yeah. You should wear your purpose lines like medals of honor.
You know what's funny is I used to try to get rid of them with face exercises.
How about that? Okay, cool.